YouTube, welcome to Fred's Full Throttle. Well, it seems there is a bit of controversy on the internet, and it happens to embroil the C8 Z06. Try as I might, I just couldn't avoid weighing in, and I thought I'd take a break from our regularly scheduled videos to address the situation. A few viewers even asked me to chime in on it, so I figured, why not? So the plan here is I'm going to tell you what happened, why it's controversial, what my take is on it, and ultimately, what does this mean for the C8 Z06? Those of you that have been following me for a while, I bet can guess exactly how I'm going to break this apart, and even probably what I'm going to say. However, for those that don't, I'm hoping this will give you a little bit of a glimpse into how I approach car news, rumors, and facts, and a better sense of who I am as a YouTuber. Anyway, here goes. A week or so ago, there was a car race. A pretty big car race, in fact. Big enough that Chevy rolled out a special edition of the C8 Z06 pace car just for this race. Mind you, if you're just tuning in, the C8 Z06 isn't even available for customers yet, and they made a special version of that car. Oh, and the race? It's the Indy 500. Joking aside, each time there's a new pace car, it's a pretty big deal. Chevy went the extra mile for this car, inviting a host of social media personalities and YouTubers, Chevy, where is my invite, to come check out the car and the race. This exposure to the car notably included a handful of ride-alongs around Indy's famous track so that people could actually see the car firsthand. Of course, this presents an interesting opportunity. Aside from the videos outside of the car, YouTubers were allowed to film while they were inside the cars during their laps. What's more, a few of the YouTubers actually got to keep PDR footage, which is the in-car recording and telemetry system, of the car during their laps. Now, a really great YouTuber, Drive615, who incidentally I talked to for my last video, posted some awesome footage from throughout his whole experience and really shared what it was like to be there firsthand. I enjoyed and appreciated his video, which I'll link to in the description if you haven't watched it already. Now let me recap the situation and then we're going to get into the controversy. So number one, you have a car that's coming out summer of this year, which has had about as much buzz as any sports car ever released. Number two, Chevy has been slowly drip feeding information about the car out to the public. However, there are many unknown details around the car, including specifically when it's being released, and even, surprisingly this late in the game, the price. Number three, with some of the performance figures released, Chevy has gone on to state that the Z06 will hang with cars like the C7 Z01 and will have true supercar levels of performance. Chevy has gone so far as to release comparisons of other performance contemporaries as a bit of a shot across the bow to how serious they are about the car. And number four, finally, you have a huge car enthusiast base who are going out of their minds waiting for any shred of info about the car. Speculation is running rampant, rumors are flying, social media and many YouTubers are running with hearsay as if it is fact. People are eating it up, and the results aren't always pretty. Discussions are heated, tempers are flaring, and at this point, many people are so turned around that they don't even know which way is up. Now here's where the video and the controversy comes in. In Drive615's video, there's a series of footage where the car is accelerating down one of the straights at Indy. To some internet commenters, it seemed slow, going from around 140 miles an hour to around 160. Cue the flame wars. Now there are two camps, and everyone seems to stack up on one side or the other. On one side, you have people who are saying the video footage doesn't tell the whole story, and that there are factors at play here that affect what you saw. On the other side, you have people running analysis, comparisons, sharing charts and graphs, using stopwatches, syncing up videos with other cars, and saying that the C8 Z06 is going to be a dog and it's a lost cause already before it's been released. There seems to be no one in the middle, and you're either on a side or you're against it. Well, I'm forming my own third side. Feel free to join me. So here's how I see it. At first, I only knew about the handheld in-car footage, and I had a couple of thoughts right out of the gate. Then in doing some homework for this video, I saw the PDR footage, which was from a second video that Drive615 published. This second video both complicates and simplifies the situation. It simplifies in that it gives more accuracy and context to what we see in the video, but complicates it because we still may not be seeing the entire picture. I'm going to try to break down my thoughts on it in no particular order. The biggest thing that stands out to me is that even with the PDR footage, for much of the video, we don't have a clear sense of when the car is being floored and when it's not. I don't know about you, but when I watched the PDR footage, I saw significant delay in the sound of the car and then when it was registering as wide open throttle in the video. And then the gear shift was about a half second before it registered in the PDR. Another big factor at play here is also that the car was in drive and flipping back and forth between fourth and fifth gears. Aaron Link, who incidentally was the one driving the car, had the opportunity to shift, but also when it's an automatic, the car can shift up or down on its own. The next piece to me is that with the cuts and edits in the film, you never really get much of the pre-run for the section of the film in question to see what happened leading up to that section. My impression is that Aaron was feathering the throttle for much of the lap, and that even with some of the upshifts that happened in the non-PDR video, he was playing around with the gears and really not pushing the car. So my take on the footage is that we are seeing the car accelerate for a narrow 20-mile-per-hour window with limited context about the situation, and the car accelerates from 132 miles per hour in fifth gear to 160 miles per hour in fifth gear over the span of about 11 seconds. And that's what we know, and there's no dispute there. A 28-mile-an-hour change over roughly 11 seconds. Now the controversy comes in where people have expectations. Here are a few of the key expectations people seem to have. First is that the C8 Z06 will out-accelerate all Corvettes preceding it at all speeds at all times. And that the C8 Z06 will be faster at roll racing than X, Y, or Z other cars. Now in a vacuum, without other cars to compare with, there would be nothing to tell you if this is quick acceleration or not. However, as the internet so often proves, opinions are plentiful and the C8 Z06 is attracting a fair bit of hate. Seriously, who are these people that hate the car over this clip? Statements like the C8 Z06 will get ruined by other cars, that the Z06 is hobbled by cost constraints, complaining about the transmission sharing design with the Stingray, and all other manner of comparisons have been levied at the car. Owners of the prior gen Z06 or ZR1s are frequently using this as proof or ammo for arguing that their car is better, claiming to cancel their orders over this. It's all a lot of posturing without any real substance. So here's the thing. The Z06 is going to be a fast car. It's going to set some really good lap times at any track you can put it on. It's likely going to set a rippingly fast Nürburgring time. My money is on right around 7 minutes. And many of these armchair experts have seen enough and are writing the car off as a failure before even getting to see one, drive one, or own one. An 11-second roll-on pass does not invalidate the car and doesn't even prove the point these trolls think they are trying to make. Now let me explain. A fast racing car is the sum of its parts, and its performances as well. There are many factors that can make any car fast, and they all work in concert. Chevy hasn't said that this is going to be the best drag racing car. They haven't said it's going to be the best roll racing car. They have said it will be a fast track car. And I'll remind you, they made a point in several of the videos about the car to show it testing at landmark racing tracks around the globe. This means handling, this means braking, this means acceleration, and this means stability. Now these people are cherry picking a specific scenario. The car on passenger demo laps, on a track it's not designed for, with full aero, a strong cross breeze, at a specific RPM, in a certain gear, performing a certain set of operations, doesn't mean the car is slow. In fact, far from it. You can take any kind of car, any type of race car, sports car, fast car, and find a non-ideal scenario which shows the car in a bad light. Have you ever rolled on in a McLaren 720S from the bottom of a tall gear? Have you ever tried to do a U-turn in an Aventador? Here are a few things that fly in the face of all this foolishness online. The reality here is that the Z06 was not designed for this track or this type of driving. Aaron even mentions that the feel of the track is spooky. Chevy was doing demo laps with passengers in the car, not driving all out and not trying to fully demonstrate the car. That crucial 4th to 5th gear upshift was done quite a ways below the shift point that you would use if you're really trying to max out your speed. This also means that the car started in 5th significantly lower in the RPMs than it would have on a real hero lap. Liability alone is a good reason for Chevy to keep the car in check, but they also wanted to have fun and drive in a safe and controlled manner. This simply wasn't an event for showing anybody pushing the car. Even among track day aficionados, the reality is that not much time will ever really be spent above 140 with wide open throttle for more than a couple seconds at a time. Though the trolls are quick to point out VIR and CODA as examples where everybody can top 160, the reality is that most track driving of a car like this will likely not be out of 4th gear very often. Now the good news is that in this conversation, some cooler heads have essentially said, how about we wait for this car to come out and actually see what it's like? Wouldn't that be a crazy idea? So my takeaway from the whole thing is that there are a lot of people wound up about the car. Many for it to succeed, some for it to fail, and the internet is a mess of noise right now. My recommendation is that if you're excited for the car, go right on keeping being excited for the car. Like me, it's gonna be awesome. And if you're not excited about the car, then be happy that you don't have to shell out the money for one and enjoy driving whatever you already have. It's a win-win. I hope, if anything, this video has shown the foolishness of trying to draw concrete conclusions from either perspective from a fleeting glimpse of incomplete information. I, for one, just enjoyed watching the video and was actually a bit surprised that this was even a thing. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, Fred out!